All right, back to Brandon Johnson.
It's a great question.
No one asked a question. Not one question was asked. Looks like our Chicago mayor did a local interview this week, which is nice to see. Seeing how all of our politicians seem to be cuddling up to CNN, Bill Maher, The View, and Jimmy Kimmel. Now, did he go on the Ben Joravsky show? Afraid not. All right. No, wasn't a podcast. Wasn't even television. Brandon actually went old school this week and did a radio interview, which I'm sure he enjoys because, Ben, if you recall, he used to host radio shows before, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Well, and for 10 trivia points, what radio station did he host them on?
Oh, well, I know he did one on WVON. There you go. WVON.
He had his own radio show on VON?
Yeah. Then he went to, well, WCPT 820.
See you later, Ben. Yes, he did. And he was the first in-show guest we had on our show, our humble little show at that station that fired me. So I'm not saying Brandon had anything to do with the fact that I got fired, just merely stating that he was on the show and I got fired.
You see why he's not coming on the show? Because this stuff
no, Brandon's not coming
really
on.
awkward.
Ben, I'm not coming on your show. God damn. I'll stay away from your show. Too many lefties. Yes, I'm trying to get away from lefties. Okay?
So yeah, he was a host, hosted several radio shows. Oh, I say several, two that I know of. I'm sure he's done more. But as a producer, damn fine job he did it hosting those shows. I would say.
Okay.
Better than
I'm a huge fan of Brandon Johnson. Everybody knows that, and as you know, D, I'm actually one of the. It's up to 10. I found 2 more people on the North Side who support him. So I'm one of the 10 North Siders who openly supports him, and I have to, wear a Groucho Marx mustache disguise whenever I go into a Starbucks. Otherwise, they'll kick me out. Or a Trader Joe's. Oh my God, you're out! Get out of here right now! Now leave Trader Joe's. But no Brandon Johnson supporters in Trader Joe's on the North Side. Can I stay? I love the little crackers.
Bring Lori back.
As he's passing down. Oh, you're gonna laugh at this one, D. I miss Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, it's true. I miss her. Okay.
You don't know what you got till it's gone, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that song, dude. Let's go. But it's true, ladies and gentlemen. I miss Lori Lightfoot. Do I support everything she did? No. But there was something about Lori Lightfoot. She's already ready to put up her dukes. Kind of like that. All right. Hey, JB's going that route. We'll get into that.
We will get into that.
But I'm a big fan of Brandon, and he was excellent on the mic. And oh my God, Brandon debated Carlos Ramirez Rosa at the Hideout. Yeah. Remember that? That was a great debate. Wow.
I think someone called someone a douchebag in that thing. I can't remember. Really. Can't recall, but someone.
It wasn't me. Brandon was representing. Who was Brandon representing? Do you remember?
He was representing Elizabeth Warren.
Yes, very good. Man, that was a good memory on your part. And Carlos was representing Bernie Sanders, and they went at it. At first, they go, "We're going to be civil, and just talk about the issues." Next thing you know, Carlos is bringing up Pocahontas, and Brandon's saying, "Oh, Bernie just lives in Vermont. There are no black people in Vermont." I'm like, "Oh my God, whoa, fellas!" Anyway, he's excellent on a mic.
That debate ended up being pointless too. They ended up going with Biden.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me. I was Bernie to the end. Bernie or bust till the end. Still am, by the way. Big fan of Bernie Sanders.
Back to Brandon Johnson.
Great question.
No one asked the question. All right, so we have Brandon's audio here. Like I said, he did not go on WCPT. He did not go on WVON. No, Brandon Johnson went on WBEZ. Let's see how he does in the guest chair. He does a great job hosting. Let's see how he does as a guest. Mayor Johnson went on the show Reset with Sasha Ann Simons.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Sasha Ann Simons, and this is Reset.
All right. Sounded pretty cool. Yeah. Are you familiar? Oh, by the way, Ben, I don't think I've got your take on NPR lately. Last I recall, you weren't a big fan. How you feeling now about NPR?
Well, okay, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question, and me doing that is my way of formulating an answer. See, that's what I've learned from politicians, where you go, well, that's a good question, and then you think, how the hell am I going to answer that question? I don't know how the hell. I wasn't expecting that question.
He's stalling, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's called a stall. So to be perfectly honest, to quote Richard Nixon, I'm not a huge fan of NPR in general. It's just something about the sound of it. But then on the other hand, some of my dear friends work there. And so I have an allegiance to them, and I'm worried about naming their names because, like, in this current climate, if I say someone is a friend of mine, I'll probably get fired. So they know who they are, and I love them dearly. And so I read today in the Washington Post that Donnie Trump has ordered federal funding ended for NPR and PBS. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. The notion that he does it because he says they're like a lefty in news outlets. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I am a lefty. I'm always ranting and railing about how they're centrist, they're middle of the roaders. You are so full of it. You don't even know what a lefty is. So that has made me love NPR. Okay, D? I love it now. And I'm like, you do not want it to go out of business because we need it. Everything's drying out. My beloved Bright One, D. Look at it. It's like 10 pages. They're broke. Everybody's broke. The Tribune is a joke. The Tribune is just like a sliver of what it used to be, and the thought that NPR would go out of business or be threatened by Donnie because they're too lefty when in fact they're totally middle of the road is absurd, ridiculous. So that has made me a huge supporter of NPR.
By the way, BEZ, I know my resume's there somewhere.
Oh my God, I can't remember that one.
Come on, give a guy a call.
Okay, now we've gotten that out of the way. Come on, BEZ, that was a joke. You didn't hire Dr. D, man. He sent in the resume. Okay,
like 15 times. I think I did it recently in the last few months or so. Come on.
Really? You got that's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. This kid's
selling the bit. All right.
Okay. Sorry. But anyway, this is years ago. This is like 6 years ago. He applied. They didn't even give him a call back. Such a joke. It was like, if you didn't go to Harvard, we're not even going to talk to
now
you.
We like him now. We like him now.
Sorry, There I go. I can't help myself. Okay. Anyway, you're right. You shouldn't have done it. You triggered me. Okay?
Listen, I'll get over my gripe and you get over yours, and we'll just love this stupid.
I'm loving NPR. I'm on the NPR bandwagon. I'm on NPR 100%. I'm going to join the pledge drive, whatever. Okay. There you go, D.
All right, so let's get to this interview.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Sasha Ann Simons, and this is Reset.
All right, Sasha, we just reset. That's what we did there. You see that? All right, now we do have the audio here. A couple of years back, WBEZ merged with Ben's beloved Bright One, the Chicago Sun-Times, and with that merger, WBEZ, little did they know, they were gifted a genius of a workmate from the Sun-Times. His name is Brian Ernst. He put the video together of this interview I'm about to play. Shout out to Brian and give him a raise, would you? And hey, my resume's there somewhere. Come on, call me up.
Give him a raise and take it out of petty cash. All right. Sorry, D.
All right, let's get to the interview. Sasha Ann Simons kicked it off with curfews.
City Council was supposed to vote on a curfew ordinance, but several questions regarding implementation of it are sort of still unanswered. What do you think, Mayor, of the move to hold off on that vote?
There was also some questions around the constitutionality around it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what it expresses is that the concerns that I've had, and I've had from the very beginning, that one, there is no evidence that lowering the curfew reduces, teen violence or even these large gatherings, right? So there's been 12 incredibly rigorous studies that have looked into this issue. And again, all of them have come back emphatically that what was proposed initially just doesn't get at solving the problem.
Mm-hmm. So you've been skeptical then of proposals leading up to now to bring the curfew up to an earlier time. Are you on board with this one that gives CPD much more power to enact these curfews?
Well, again, the concern is the constitutionality around this, and if this is something that would even be effective.
Yeah, see, come on, Northside. Why are you scared of this guy? That was a great answer, in my humble opinion. He was very reasonable. He didn't blast people, whole groups of people. He talked in terms of the constitutional issue. He was learned. Used the word constitution. Big word. Come on, Northside. Why are you so scared of this guy? I do not. I like that answer to that question. Now, I would have a different answer to the question because I'm just some guy with a microphone in his attic, which is a lot different than mayor of the city of Chicago. And if I gave my answer to that question, then, well, I would probably not be mayor much longer.
What would that answer be, though? Let's hear it.
Come on, man. We all know. We all know what this curfew stuff is. This curfew backlash is because this city is too cheap to adequately fund any kind of programs that give teenagers who aren't rich or don't come from rich families or don't come from middle-class families or don't come from upper middle-class families like the one I'm from, opportunities to do something so that there would be an alternative to just hanging out. Now, I'm not saying, Northsiders, before you get all excited and nervous, that would stop forever the thought of a group of teenagers up to no good congregating. But I think it would be an important first step. And I also know that what you're really saying is that you get scared when you see large groups of Black teenagers together, D. So, just imagine if a group of teenagers, a young teenage Dr. D, a young teenage Benny J, a young teenage producer Chris, and a young teenage
We're bending the time frame here. I get what you're saying.
We're hanging out. Nobody would care. We're walking around. None of us were great scholars. None of us, were great citizens. We weren't written up in the newspaper as outstanding scholars and students who are doing great things. We're just three ordinary teenagers, probably horny as hell, listening to bad music, except for me. I was listening to good music. And no one's going to call the cops on us. But if you take, let's say, I'll do some guests from my show, teenage Monroe Anderson, a teenage Mark Sims, a teenage Sergio Mims, just to name three. It'd be a different reaction. It'd be like, what are these hoodlums doing in downtown Chicago? I'm calling the police. So we're feeding all these prejudice and biases with these notions of this instantaneous. They want instantaneous curfews, D. That's essentially what they're saying. Uh-oh, I see 40 teenagers on the corner. Quick, curfew. Just arrest them now. But see, Brandon took that. He took a very real response and put it in fancy language, and a Northsider could go, I see. So why do you hate him so much, Northsiders? I don't know, D. So that's my answer. That's his answer. And then the question, which remains, why do you dislike this man so much, Northsiders? You got to put yourself on the couch. You have to examine what's going on in your brain. Only you can answer the question.
Now, again, this is a radio interview. All right. So in typical radio fashion, and as a former radio producer, I certainly do not miss this part of the gig. They went to the phone lines.
Oh, no. Phone line.
That's right. Who still uses telephones? Radio shows.
Oh, God. D, remember the time when I just said, that's it, I can't take it? No more phones. Yeah, and you were okay with it because you had to answer the phones. It's, you know what I'm saying? It was one less thing you had to do. Okay. Management didn't like that.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's just the same calls over and over. But anyway, so
can you, for 10 trivia points, name one caller?
Oh, name one caller? Oh,
just all you got to do is one caller. You haven't done it in how many years since you manned the boards at CPT?
Dave and Hoffman Estates.
Wow. Can you do the imitation?
Now, come on.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Remember Adler?
Adler, yeah. Adler was awesome. I would do, we can do a little behind the scenes talk here. I would do what I would call an Adler bomb on the Ben Joravsky show, because Adler was just this guy. I'm Adler. Hi. And you would answer the phone. You'd be like, hey, who's calling? This is Adler. Listen, I got something to say to you. It does. Hello, who is it? And that was Adler. And so, anytime during the show, I would just hit Ben. Like, he'd be like, we're sitting here having a good day. And I'm like, oh my God, look, Adler's on the phone. And I would just hit it. Like, I'm Adler. I got something to say here. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, Adler, I'd be like, we weren't in the same room in those days. For some reason, they didn't want me in the same room as that. I have no idea why. But so we were in different rooms. I'd be looking at them. Oh, thanks.
Because I was answering the phones. I can't be in the same room answering the phones.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's
a valid point. You know what? Now I understand why we're in different rooms. They were too cheap to hire someone else to answer the phones.
But yes, they went to the phones. All right. So let's hear from the callers. First up, it's Sabrini. Wait. Is that her name? No. First up, it's Serini in Logan Square.
Hi, Mayor Johnson.
Hi.
So my question revolves around local businesses, as I do work for one, and I work with a lot of them. And all of the robberies that have been going on, sometimes these robberies hitting multiple places at once. And so my question is, have you thought about offering any relief or maybe grants to add security measures to any of the businesses to help make these robberies less successful?
You need to fix your phone line. All right, next it's Paul in Woodstock.
Yes, Mayor Johnson, I do live in Woodstock, but I commute into the Loop on Metro at least 3 days a week.
Thanks, Paul. Next call, Woodstock. What the hell are you calling for? Up next, it's Alec in Jefferson Park. Make it quick, buddy.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yep, too late. Next call. Up next, it's Tyler in Uptown.
I've lived in this city for almost 15 years and have rented and leased all those years, and never have I seen it more difficult to build affordable and middle-income housing in the city than it is right now. While also happening, never has rent been this high for, let's just say, a one-bedroom unit. It's just rent is crazy right now. And I think the positive that a lot of people are moving to the city, and that's a good thing, but
Great comment. And finally, Tony in Beverly.
Southside, finally.
Good afternoon, Mayor John.
Good afternoon.
What is your alternative to the property tax hike that we're receiving in Chicago? It is my belief that these property tax hikes are making it unaffordable for us to own property in Chicago. It's driving people out of the city, as well as the state of Illinois. There has to be an alternative besides property tax hikes.
There you go. Great question. What'd you think of those callers, Ben?
I liked them, actually. I thought they were all good. And Tony from Beverly, and then Brandon goes, finally the South Side. First of all, you're not even from the South Side, Mayor Johnson. You live on the West Side. What do you care if a call comes in? Anyway, and the gentleman from Uptown, whose name I can't remember, we're essentially asking the same question.
Tyler was his
Tyler.
name.
Oh, 2 T's. T squared, Tyler and Tony. You say that 10 times, D. And so they're good questions. And yeah, I got to give them credit, man. Those are good questions. Can't hate on those questions. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about the callers at CPT. I'm just going to say good questions. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. All right.
But hey, if you want the answers to those questions and to catch the questions from those 2 guys I hung up on, I suggest you go to YouTube and watch the excellent work from our dear friend Brian Ernst and WBEZ. Go check
Don't hate on BEZ. They pay his salary. Okay, let's show some. He was one of the guys I was thinking of when I said I have friends that work there, and I didn't want to mention his name because, well, you know that, Lefty. But I got to give Brandon credit for this. So I've been really hard on Brandon Johnson's outreach. Been since he I gave him like two months to figure things out, and I've been ripping him ever since. Absolutely horrific outreach to the city of Chicago. He's been, as to quote Mark Sims, he allowed somebody else to write his narrative. Got to give Mark credit for that line. And he never got back the writing of the narrative. And so his political enemies have structured the narrative that people think of, that people are responding to with regards to Brandon Johnson. And that's about 90% of the reason why, well, maybe 60% of the reason why the North Side hates him so much. So he's finally making an effort to write his own narrative. So he goes on WBEZ, and it was live. Am I correct on that, D? It was live. Yeah. So they can't censor him. You know, they can't selectively edit what he says. He controls it. And I think that's the first step. Now you're going to go, oh, Ben, the bar is low. And that's a good point, D. I'm really glad you raised that point, even though you didn't really raise it. Yeah. But it's been so bad up till now that you got to give him some shout out. Okay, maybe this will change. How many years to the next election, D? I've lost track of time. 2 years. Thank you for that. Man, you're just filled with answers to my questions today.
You're welcome.
And so he's got 2 years to try to change things around, and maybe he can do it. Every journalist that I know, every working journalist I know in the city of Chicago is predicting that he will not win. Every North Sider I know is predicting he will not win. It's like on the South Side, most of them predict that he will not win, but they're more supportive of him. So, you know, you got nowhere to go but up, Mayor Johnson, on this one, because most of the people have written you off in the city. And so getting out there like you did on BEZ is an important first step. If the alternative is turning it over to another daily. Oh, God help us all. Another 40 years of daily and Rahm. Oh, no. No pressure, Mayor Johnson. No pressure. Saving us from another 40 years of daily and Rahm.
Yeah, he's going back to his roots, man. Radio.
Well, if he doesn't turn things around fast, he'll be on the radio full time. The Brandon Johnson Show. Hello, Cicero, you're on.
Yeah, but I can't stress it enough. Boy, did I hate taking phone calls.
Yeah, I know. I don't blame you. I mean, now we're really going inside, but Dr. D would be doing so many different things. One time I saw him, he was watching the windows. I go, wait a minute, why are you watching in the middle of a show? They fired the janitor here, okay? Times are hard.
It's just like, no one's really using the telephone that much anymore. They do Zoom calls and things like that. It's just kind of an old thing, you know?